Ladies, have you noticed that at a certain point in your spiritual journey, it seems like it's almost as if men just don't approach you? Or it's like, hey, I know I look good. You know what I mean? I know my energy's on fleek or on fleek. I'm cleansed. You know what I mean? Purifying my womb, cleansing my energy. How come it seems like men just stopped approaching? Well, I'm going to have to explain something because it took me a while to really understand what was going on spiritually. What happened to where when I was just all kinds of, I don't know, unawakened, let's just put it like that for lack of better words, when I was just walking out here spiritually blind, unaware of who I was, my energy, what I have to offer. It seems as if I was approached on a regular basis, and not just by regular guys, well-to-do men. Why was that? But then once I cleansed my energy, it's almost as if once I had my spiritual awakening and I began to cleanse my energy, I began to glow, eat healthier, do things that were better for me spiritually. It's almost as if there was a nosedive in that department in the wrong direction. And the reason being is because men can sense when a woman is awakened, put it like that. This is just the easiest way I can think to say it. It's a spiritual thing. Spiritually, your aura is on fleek, honey. Don't get it twisted. Your aura is on fleek. You are shining. You are glowing. You are more beautiful than you've ever been before. But it's also a sense of the bar being raised that a lot of these men know that they can't reach, okay? Regardless of where they stand economically or, what they have materialistically. It's once you reach a certain level spiritually, you demand more. You demand more respect. You just don't put up with certain things. And a lot of men really don't want a woman whose standards are extremely high, because then they can't run amok on you. They can't play with you, And unfortunately, a lot of men are toxic. They thrive on toxicity. They want to play mind games. They want you to chase them and act a fool. But once you reach a certain point in your spiritual journey as a woman, you are not pursuing any man. When you're healed, you're not pursuing no man. You're not going to let them run amok on you. You're not going to let them play mind games with you. You're going to leave, and then it's no fun for them. It's hey, I can't play with you. It's no fun. It's not exciting. There's another reason also, is because when you are classy and sophisticated, your energy, your presence, everything about you is top tier, high quality. And a lot of these men, I'm just going to be frank, a lot of them like trashy. Why? Because there are no standards. They can give the bare minimum, or they can be emotionally detached. They don't have to give their all. They don't even have to put forth any effort. And they can get what they want out of a woman who's not at your level, who hasn't done the work, who's not even trying to advance in any area, especially spiritually and mentally and emotionally, not trying to heal. You get what I mean? A healed woman poses a threat to a trashy man, and we're just gonna keep it all the way 100 here, okay? A man who hasn't done the work themselves cannot handle a woman who's already done the work or is doing the work, because then you raise the bar so high that they don't even feel like they can reach or achieve it. A lot of men don't know how to love a healed woman properly because they haven't healed themselves. A lot of men don't even know how to approach a healed woman who is not checking for a man, who doesn't need a man's validation, who doesn't thrive on low vibrational things, who doesn't, get a kick out of playing games with a person. A lot of men just are not at that level. So you got to understand, even when we were younger, we were always taught that women are more advanced, more, as far as spiritually, they grow quicker than men. Maturity, they grow quicker than men. And that's the real life of the situation. That's why, as a woman, when you get older and you're more mature and you're more settled down, you're not out here playing games. You're not out here thirst trapping. You're not seeking male validation. You are secure within your womanhood. You've done the healing work. You've cleansed your energy. You're eating healthy. You are just like glowing up in every aspect of your life. However, a lot of these men can't relate to that because they haven't done the work themselves. You then become a little bit too much. You require too much, more than what they're willing to give. Not because they can't give it, it's because, it's because they can't give it, because they haven't done it themselves, their work themselves. A lot of them want to. They may start out with you because that's what they want to be. They strive to be a better man. But the truth of the reality is a lot of them just aren't there yet. So in your journey as a woman, you have to learn to be comfortable with being alone. Once you've done the inner healing work and you've, cleansed your energy, you've purified yourself, you've, grown and evolved in multiple ways, not even just spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, but also in your career. Like, you've grown past a certain level. You have to get content and used to solitary activities. You have to get used to your singleness. Get comfortable with it, Now, this isn't to say you're not going to meet someone. Eventually, yeah, you probably will. I'm a firm believer in there's somebody for everybody. But you do go through a dry season of sorts, where your energy is just too much for trashy men. And I'm going to be very frank and honest. Most of the men you run into are just trashy. It doesn't even matter that they wear a suit and tie to work, that they make six figures. A lot of them have trashy moral compass. A lot of them want trash. They want someone who is just going to bend it over and bust it wide open for them with little to minimal effort. They don't want to maintain a woman who's done the inner healing work, especially, like I said, if they haven't done it themselves. Okay? And that's just the reality of it. So look at it as your growth, your spiritual growth, is your protection from these low vibrational, trashy men. Because you're not going to put up with it. You're not going to put up with the mind games, the manipulation tactics, triangulation tactics. You're not going to put up with most of the games that these men like to play. And until you meet someone, a man who's evolved enough and grown enough to meet you at your level and value and appreciate your growth as a woman, you will be single. And you have to be comfortable with that. It's your protection. It's your filter. What's the point of going through all of this healing and growing and evolving just to end right back up with a man who's going to try to bring you down to their level and then beat you at their game? You get what I mean? It's going to set you back light years. You have to then re-heal, re-cleanse your energy, your womb. Like, you've come too far to just decide, you know what, I'm tired of being alone and single. I'm going to just settle. Because ultimately, that's what it is. When you get to a certain point in your love journey, your spiritual journey, and you decide that you are tired of being single, because now you're divinely protected, but you get tired of that, you want a companion, you either wait on the person that the Most High has for you, who's going to value and appreciate you, nurture your spiritual and healing journey, or you're going to settle for someone who's just going to bring you back down and possibly take you through another karmic cycle. Possibly ruin or destroy everything you've built for yourself. Your new mindset, your new energy, even potentially your financial stability. Like, there's so many things that could happen in a negative way if you choose to just forfeit your healing journey, your spiritual growth, just for a companion. You're better off waiting, okay? And at some point in your healing journey, us women who've been on this journey for years, I'm talking 6, 7, some of us have been on this journey for 10 years, you realize that your solitude, just because you're alone doesn't mean you're lonely. And you'd rather have your peace alone than to be completely re-traumatized by a trashy man who has no moral compass, who has there's no limit to what they'll do to get a reaction out of you for their thrill, for their fun. Okay? No one wants to jump, once you've gotten to this stage of your healing journey, that you are comfortable being alone. You don't want to get on someone else's emotional roller coaster and completely throw your balance off. It interferes with your manifestations. It interferes with so much. And so how far you've come. So don't look at it as, man, dang, I'm single. I don't have anyone just because I've awakened. No, you are divinely protected now because you've awakened. You've come so far in your journey that the Most High is just not going to let some trashy man who's not on your level mentally, spiritually, emotionally, period. Okay? Because it's deeper than just you. It's about healing generational curses, overcoming generational traumas, especially when it pertains to men, okay? And what you will and will not put up with. You've come too far to forfeit all that just so you can be in a relationship. Just wait. Wait on the Most High. All right, that's all I have for you. Have a wonderful day, everyone.